On time. It's 4 o'clock, and this is the Metropolitan Council meeting, this June 12th, 2024. I'm Charlie Zelli, Chair of the Metropolitan Council. I welcome you to this meeting that I'm calling to order. One note, two notes. My first is a happy note that Ned Smith is joining us, our not new Ned Smith, but new to the position of CFO, and both Ryan O'Connor and our deputy RA are out of town or sick, one of the above. And so Ned's able to join us here. The other is we're having one modification to the agenda. And I'm sorry to say that item 2024-127 that was on the consent agenda, we're actually going to pull from the agenda because that opportunity is, and I will think optimistically, delayed, which is unfortunate because I think it's a great opportunity if you read what was being proposed, but that is still going to be researched and discussed, but it isn't ready for our agenda today. So with that change, if I don't hear an objection, I am taking this agenda as approved, which leads us to the minutes that were sent out in advance from our meeting on May 22nd. Is there a motion and a second to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. And any corrections, additions, discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The minutes are approved. Now we're at the point to offer an invitation to members of the public who wish to address the council for items that are not on the agenda for up to 3 minutes. And we have 4 people who have signed up in advance. And the first is Michelle Joy. Welcome, Michelle.
Let me open this. So this is a spill.
My name is Michelle Joy. I live in Robbinsdale in the 3rd Ward, 3736 Regent Avenue. I want to speak against light rail, the Blue Line extension. I bought my house in Robbinsdale 12 years ago after researching several areas of the greater Minneapolis area. I chose it for its diversity, affordability, great location, and most of all for its charming hometown feel. The small shops and restaurants on Broadway Avenue are what creates this charm. These are 1 block away from the proposed Blue Line extension. They're not the big box stores and chain restaurants that you find in other suburbs, but rather individually owned and operated establishments. I'm very worried how the construction and eventually the light rail might impact these businesses and therefore the heart of the city. A light rail track will split not only Robbinsdale, but North Minneapolis, another area comprised mainly of small businesses and residential property. This, to me, seems reminiscent of what happened to the Rondo neighborhood of St. Paul in the late 60s. Any Google search and countless news articles about Minneapolis light rail will show you how much crime takes place in and around the light rail, Minneapolis light rail. Minneapolis light rail was deemed the most dangerous in the nation in 2023. NPR stated in March of this year that light rail crime was up by 32% compared to 2022, while the Star Tribune said it was down by 8%. Who to believe? I don't feel like taking that chance of crime spilling out into our communities and ruining them. From the most recent article I've read, Metro Transit Police are down 63 officers, while Minneapolis police in general are down 300 officers. Light rail seems to be a magnet for crime, where the driver is separated from the riders and therefore have no control over their behavior. Sure, we've hired trip agents, but their function seems to be mainly checking fares and giving directions. Maybe they are a deterrent, but we need more of them and more control of crime in general before creating another venue for it. All this construction, displacement, and crime control adds an enormous amount of money to be spent by Hennepin County taxpayers. As it is, property taxes in Hennepin County are already high at 1.32%, and Robbinsdale's at 1.4%. My friend in Seattle pays 1.025%. All this money for a line that could easily be served by rapid bus transit. It would be much cheaper, more flexible, and cost much less construction disruption. The drivers would be in the same compartment as the passengers. I'm all for clean energy, but BRT can also be electronic or hybrid. There would be less disruption in local traffic. I can't imagine how one traffic lane in each way would work on an already busy corridor.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm afraid your
Okay.
time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll hear from Audra Poog. P-U-G-H?
She's texting, she's in traffic and should be here any minute.
All right, we'll come back to her. Crystal Porter?
She's also in the same predicament.
Is Nancy Johnson here?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Nancy Johnson. I also live in Robbinsdale. I'm at 4230 Abbott Avenue North. And first of all, I just want to say that I feel like the route or the alignment for the Blue Line extension is all wrong. So today, though, I just want to talk about County Road 81 or Bottineau Avenue. It runs north and south off of West Broadway. It's our main road in Robbinsdale, and we love it. It was updated in 2003 to 2005 with about 3 lanes for traffic going either way. It's a busy road. Have you ever driven 81? Then you know that there's always traffic on it. So the current plan for the Blue Line extension will take away 1 to 2 traffic lanes each way for the 2 sets of light rail tracks. So what do the residents gain here? Congestion. Ever wonder why people are driving on 81? Well, they're probably going for groceries or to a doctor's appointment or getting their kids to daycare, maybe a haircut, or it's an easy way to get out of town. And of course, there's the daily commuters. So I moved to Robbinsdale because I wanted to be closer to work, and so did most of my neighbors. But I don't live downtown Minneapolis, or don't work downtown Minneapolis. I work locally. So if the light rail goes in, our lanes of traffic will be decreased on 81. Now, we love and use 81, but the change will certainly give us less traffic lanes, and then put a train running down the middle. Doesn't sound real traffic efficient, or it would scare me, I guess. So who's going to use this light rail? Now, we all know that there's alternatives to public transportation, and so I suggest now is the time to stop, pause all the work on the Blue Line, and let's find a better route and a better form of transportation. Maybe even one that will get us to our final destination. The residents of West Broadway, Robbinsdale, Crystal, and Brooklyn Park all deserve better. Now, I have to share with you that I have indeed run across people who are excited about the light rail coming into our area. And so I asked them, well, what are you going to use it for? And their response, I'm going to a Twins game.
Thank you. Okay, second call, any progress
Will there
from?
be an opportunity for them to speak when they get here?
All right, I'm happy to make that exception.
Thank you.
All right, and this also will point out that these testimonies will be forwarded to the Blue Line Project Office to show the input as part of the public record.
You see my sign?
And you are welcome to send comments through email to the project website, which is bluelineext.org. Then we're on to our consent agenda. Is there a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second. Thank you, thank you. Any discussion?
Chair.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to comment on the City of Lake Elmo Elementary Comprehensive Plan Amendment. It was just an example of, I think, what the council does best. I got calls from community members and elevated it up within the council, and we worked with governor's office and DNR, and I think we shaved quite a bit of time off of getting this approved and getting it so they can get their school built. And I'd just like to say, so people out there, feel free to call me in District 11 anytime, and I know with Suvento District 12, but it was really what we do best, and it was a good example of that.
Thank you, Councilmember Cedarburg. That's really important to note that. Any other comments, questions? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent business items are approved. On to our non-consent reports from the Standing Committee. Community Development has 2 items. Councilmember Lilligren.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair. We are bringing 2 items forward for our consideration today. Both of them are awarding funds from the Livable Communities Act counts. So the first is business item 2024-146. It's to award $1 million in Livable Communities Act pre-development grant funds to support 7 pre-development projects in 4 different cities. As a reminder, our pre-development grants are intended for projects that need to complete additional work to fully shape and detail the final development, and typically include a range of activities, including but not limited to feasibility analysis, various project studies, infrastructure systems engineering, development and planning needs, design work, and community engagement. 8 applications were received from the cities of Brooklyn Center, Minneapolis, Falcon Heights, and St. Paul. Of those 8, 7 of the applications were eligible for review, and all 7 met the minimum scoring criteria to be eligible for funding. The projects awarded will support affordable housing, affordable home ownership, mixed-use development, public spaces, and local small businesses. So, Mr. Chair, I move that the Metropolitan Council award 7 Livable Communities Act pre-development grants totaling $1 million and authorize the Executive Director of Community Development to execute the grant agreements on behalf of the council.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment, discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That action passed. Councilmember Lilligren.
Yeah, thanks. And the next item is round 1 of the Livable Communities Act Policy Development Grant Recommendations. It's item 2024-147. It's to award $100,000 in Livable Communities Act Policy Development Grant Funds to support 3 policy developments in 3 different cities. Policy development grants support the cities in developing and adopting policies that support Livable Communities Act goals of increased housing choice through more affordable housing options, living wage job creation, compact connected development, and environmental sustainability, all with the underlying principle of equitable development. 3 applications were received from the cities of Bloomington, Newport, and Richfield. These policies will help update zoning codes that allow for increased density, more housing options for residents, and to update an inclusionary housing policy. Therefore, Mr. Chair, I move that the Metropolitan Council award 3 Livable Communities Act policy development grants totaling $100,000.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That action is passed. There are no reports from the Environment Committee nor the Management Committee, but there is from the Transportation Committee. Councilmember Barber.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, council members, business item number 2024-133, same week, is to authorize execution of a small bus transit service contract. This contract includes all the council's small bus regular route service. Routes included are dispersed throughout the council's service area. An RFP was issued on December 6, 2023, and one proposal was received on February 1st, 2024. The proposal was reviewed by a 5-member panel consisting of both internal and external representatives. The panel recommends TransDev Incorporated as a proposal most advantageous to the council. The Office of Equity and Equal Opportunity assigned a DBE goal of 1% for the solicitation. TransDev Incorporated's proposal committed to 4.5% DBE participation, greatly exceeding the requirement. Therefore, Mr. Chair, I move that the Metropolitan Council authorize the regional administrator to negotiate and execute a contract with TransDev Incorporated to provide regular route transit service in an amount not to exceed $27,491,000.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Councilmember Barber.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to send a little quote of appreciation to MTS and OEO for the work on this. These contracts are typically don't have DBE goals associated with them because the companies themselves are not subcontracting with anybody else. They're hiring employees. And so this is something that we've been working to do for many years. And so I just really appreciate the effort and the background work that went into this because I think it's really going to help as we look at some of these bigger service contracts in the future.
Great. Thank you for that. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, that action has passed. That concludes our business items for today. Are there any reports from council members? All right, Mr. Smith, anything?
No reports from the Regional Administrator's Office.
No. General counsel?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will pass.
All right, this concludes our business. If there were any testifiers now here? All right, so what I'm going to suggest, because there's it seems to be the subject of the blue line, which is going to continue for some time through the summer, we would invite you, anybody, to submit written documents, and there will be additional opportunities for public testimony that we'll make sure everyone is aware of. And with that, that concludes our business for today. This meeting's adjourned.